YouTube advertising remains one of the biggest opportunities for real estate lead generation today. A few agents have seen the opportunity and taken action, but not many. So today we'll look at exactly how to get started with YouTube ads so you too can be one of the few to seize the opportunity and get started today. Let's begin. Hey, it's Jaime. If we're just meeting, welcome to the channel that brings actionable content to grow your business through online marketing. So if that sounds beneficial, consider subscribing. Question of the day, is there something keeping you from YouTube ads? Let me know in the comment section down below. I remember going to a John Maxwell conference a few years ago in which a speaker had built a large organization while his competitors were closing their doors. And what stood out to me at the time was that he attributed the majority of his success to simply doing something different. He was still in the same industry, but he was just doing something different. And the most impactful thing that he said was, when you're first to do something, you don't even have to be that good. And the reason I bring this up is because you, that's right, you watching, can be among the first to get started with YouTube ads. And to be successful with YouTube ads, you don't really have to be that good. Now, that's not permission to stink or the authorization to not try, but more to illustrate that the opportunity of YouTube ads is here. You just need to seize it. So let's run a YouTube ad. Today we're gonna run a top of funnel ad, which is an awareness ad. And you're gonna see what that means as we start creating our campaign. So we're gonna go to a new campaign. This is our goals guidance, which essentially when you click one of these, it's going to limit the options that you have as you're creating the ad. So whenever you go to sales or go to product and brand consideration, it's going to put you into a template on the back end. So you're navigated through or shown through how to create an ad that's going to generate you, let's say, website traffic or branding consideration. But for us, what we're going to do is going to create a campaign without a goals guidance, which is going to give us the most options available. Since we're running a YouTube ad, we do have to select video, and now we have the campaign subtype. So we have the custom video campaign, which is ultimately what we're going to use. Non-skippable in-stream ads, which are those ads that you see in the videos. They can be up to 15 seconds and you don't have the option to skip. The type of campaign that we're going to run is a skippable ad, and there with the skippable ads, you have about 5 seconds to gather somebody's attention, and beyond that, they have the option to click out and skip through your ad. The outstream ad reach people on their phones, tablets, using CPM bidding with outstream ads. These aren't used as much as these are more for phones and tablets, so you see those used mostly with apps. The drive conversions, get more conversions with video ads designed to encourage valuable interactions with your business. You have the ad sequence, so you're able to run different ads as they progress. If they watch one of your ads and they watch it to a certain amount, then they can progress to the next ad and then to the next ad and to the next ad. And if they don't ever get through watching your first video, then they continue to be served that particular video. And shopping, of course, promote relevant products and other people to shop on your website with skippable in-stream ads. Essentially, it's skippable in-stream ads. It just gives you some additional options with shopping and clicks and everything like that. So we're gonna go with custom video campaign. We're not gonna worry too much about the naming convention for this video, so we're gonna keep going. Maximum CPV, you're gonna have the option of paying based off of cost per view or cost per impression. When you go with maximum CPV, cost per view, you set the most you're willing to pay each time your ad is viewed. And then on target CPM, you get to target based off of the impressions. So with target CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions, you set the average amount you're willing to pay for every 1,000 times your ad is shown. So basically, when this is shown, so impressions versus the amount of times that it is viewed. CPV, cost per view, and as a reminder, CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions. For our particular video, we're gonna go with the maximum CPV, so cost per view. And then we get to optimize or select what type of budget we want to go with. Do we want to set a total amount for that we want to spend, or do we want to set a daily average? I'm going to go with the daily average of $25. And then here you're going to see you have the standard or the accelerated. Standard, spend your budget evenly over time. Accelerated, spending budget more quickly. This may cause your budget to run out early. So it's gonna, if the views and the audience is there, they're gonna spend the money as quickly as possible. Now, just as a heads up, even though these say that one's a standard, one's accelerated, know that even with the standard, as it says, spend your budget evenly over time, even with the standard selection, there are some days that you're going to spend $50, some days that you're going to spend $5, some days you're going to spend $10. It's going to fluctuate. On average, what you can expect to pay is $25 for the 30 days, so for the month. So just be aware of that. Don't be alarmed when you see a certain day that you spent $50 and you think you're going to blow your budget. That's not the case. It's not going to work that way. So we're going to keep it at standard, which is the recommended. And then when we go to networks, this is, since we went with the custom way of creating our campaign, we do have the option of selecting, do we want to do ads that appear next to search results on YouTube? So whenever somebody searches a keyword or key phrase, then there are in the search bar, then you see two different options. Those are more of the search result ads. And then when you go with YouTube videos, this is going to be your YouTube videos, channel pages, and on YouTube homepage, you can use in-stream and video discovery ads, which this is ultimately what we're going to use today. I'm going to uncheck that. And then video partners, I suggest that unless you're retargeting, to take that out of there, because it's going to be outside of the YouTube ecosystem. And what you're going to find is that it's a money pit. So unless you're retargeting, I highly suggest that you remove that. All right, so we're going to keep going. Languages, we're going to go with English. Locations, we are going to, let's say, Tarrant County. One quick favor before continuing, please be sure to hit the like button so this video's reach is magnified and others benefit. Inventory type. So you're going to see here, select the inventory type to show your ads in the content that's right for your brand. So effectively, if you want to be pretty brand safe, if you will, then we're going to go with limited inventory, which is going to exclude most types of sensitive content and limit your available inventory. Some exclusions as expanded in standard, and also, some exclusions as expanded in standard, and also excludes, for example, moderate profanity, moderate sexually suggestive content. So if you want to be ultra conservative with where your ads show up, so it's not under sensitive content as it's labeled here, then you would go to limited inventory. But I recommend that you stay with the standard inventory. They generally now do a good enough job in protecting your brand and not showing your ads in front of very, let's say, questionable content. But that's after the several apocalypses that happened. All right, so that's the inventory type. The excluded content is really a redundancy that's gonna go away. This, you're gonna see in the near future, sensitive content categories will no longer be available and will be replaced by inventory types. So effectively it's saying that it's that. So we're not gonna worry about this. We're gonna let this general inventory type take over. Excluded types and labels, opt out from showing your ads on content that doesn't fit your brand. So you see here, select content types to exclude. I go ahead and exclude those. The reason that I do that is, as an example, with live streaming videos, if somebody is going to try to catch a live broadcast from a creator, chances are that the ad that gets served to them before they actually get to the live broadcast is not going to perform as well, because they're going there with the intentions of interacting or watching the content live. So that's my bias. So you can certainly leave those on if you would like, but I choose not to. And then select digital content labels to exclude. I don't do any exclusions here. So you see the additional settings that are available when you select. You select which conversions are included in conversions column for this column and used for smart bidding. Effectively, what this is saying is if you have different conversions created when you go to tools and settings and create a conversion, if you have conversions that are geared more for buyers, for sellers, for investors, you have the ability now to select those based off of, where am I going? You have the ability to select those individually, whereas before you didn't. So here, as an example, my free Facebook Ads Essentials course, I could optimize for that, or I can now optimize for the Google Ads Essentials course. In the past, I would have to go over here and disable them if I wanted to run a YouTube ad. But now, here's the last couple of, I think now it's actually months, I'm sorry, since they did this update. In the past, you were only able to select based off of one conversion, so you had to have only one activated if you wanted it to work the way that you wanted it to. Now, you have the option of selecting and toggling in between the two without you having to go and set a conversion to be active or not. So we're going to leave that as is for now. Devices, depending on what you're advertising, you can select specific devices to exclude. I like to exclude TV screens, and sometimes I go with tablets just because tablets are very easily handed off to children from parents to children so they can watch their content, and I just fluctuate between the two, but I for sure always leave the computers and mobile phones on. For our particular ad, I actually do need the tablets to be on. All right, frequency capping, I'm not retargeting at the moment, or else I would put more credence in here or more focus on the capping. Given the audience size, it's large enough to where I'm not going to worry too much about the redundancies. So you can cap based off of frequency, cap based off of impression frequency or view frequency. You can essentially cap the number of times it's shown or the amount of times they actually view it. Since it's not a retargeting ad as mentioned in the past, I am not going to worry about that today. And then the ad schedule, you can select when you want your ad to show up. So if you have certain office hours that you want to be live for, in case you get a call or something to that effect, then you can certainly leave that, play with the ad schedule there. I'm going to hide the additional settings. We're going to go on to the ad group section. So essentially now we get to select the people and the content that we want to place our ad in front of. As far as demographics, the only thing that I'm gonna mess with is the income household. So I'm gonna leave everything else as is. So I'm gonna leave it at the top 10 to, well, basically the top 50% of income. I'm gonna leave everything else the way that it is. Then on the audience, we're gonna go based off of who they are, home ownership status, and I need them to be homeowners. And you're gonna get a rough sense of what the impressions look like on the right hand side. Those are estimates, so know that they're most likely not gonna be accurate. However, it just gives you a good sense of the audience sizes. So what we've done now is focused on people who you want to reach, so essentially the people aspect. Now we're going to go over to the content aspect, and we're only going to worry about the keywords. We're going to go to keywords right now, and I want to get some ideas. All right, so those are broad enough. Okay. Not going to worry about topic, but select topics to show ads on content around specific subjects. So topics are specific subjects that are being talked about. As an example, let's say autos and vehicles. These are basically communities that are speaking about campers and RVs, classic vehicles, and things of that nature. Your ad will show to all topics that match your other targeting ad That was redundant. All right, so we're gonna go to placements, and on placements, you can place your particular ad in front of channels, in front of videos, in front of playlists, wherever you want your content to show up. So if you know that there are big creators that are competitors or in your space or that have the audience that you think would be receptive to your ad, then you can select those channels here. As an example, if you wanted to place an ad on my channel, for whatever reason, if the audience that you think watches me is of benefit to you, then you can just type in my name and then you would select me right there, and your ads would show up in my channel. So that's cool. Now, one quick tip: when you're selecting videos or channels, you need to get a substantive amount of channels and videos. Only because you have even a huge creator does not mean that your ads are going to show. So create as many creators in the same space or in the topic that you are trying to be in front of, because other than that, your ads may not show up. And a lot of it has to do with their CPM, which is how much they're getting paid by YouTube. So they have different prices. The budget that you have for a particular content creator may not be enough to actually win out in the auctions, so your ads can actually show up. So it's good to have as many creators or as many videos as possible highlighted, so your ads have a chance of showing. All right, CPV, I like to start off with $1. If I see that I'm getting no traction with $1, then I will increase it. Very rarely does that happen. Actually, it hasn't happened. So I like to start off high and win out in the auction as much as possible, and then I scale down where it averages out. Depending on the audience, it just varies. And you can adjust your bidding based off of the top content. So you can say, hey, I want to increase my bid by 25% to get into that top content, top tier content. Then you make that adjustment as you like. All right, now I get over here and I get the actual video that I'll be running. As a reminder, this is a top of funnel ad. I am looking for awareness. I'm looking for people to start interacting with my content, to start interacting with my channel. So then I'm able to retarget them. I have the audiences created. So let me show you what that means real quick. When you go to Audience Manager, you have the option of creating an audience that has engaged with your content in the past. You can create an audience based off of people that have engaged with your entire content, regardless if it's an organic video or an ad, or you have the option of just selecting an audience that has interacted with the ads or with a specific video. So you're able to get targeted in the retargeting that you want to do. So this is me starting out from the top of funnel, and then I'll be retargeting people that have engaged with this. And I know based off of what we selected, because right here, that I know that they're in the top 50% bracket and they're homeowners and they are searching for this. If I'm not getting enough hits based off of these keywords, then I will either add some additional keywords or remove the keywords altogether and get people that are going to be naturally interested in the homestead exemption and knowing how that actually works. It's very important, especially now, because up through March 30th, if I'm not mistaken, at least here in Texas, the homestead exemptions do need to be filed if somebody has lived in that property through the 1st of January. I know I just said a lot of dates there, but know that especially now more than ever, real estate agents need to be letting their clients know that the homestead exemptions need to be filed if this is their first January 1st that they've lived in the property. We're going to go with skippable in-stream ad. And really, I just want engagement. I want them to go back to my video and watch it. The call to action is watch now, save in taxes. Pretty simple. Not going to worry about the tracking template. Then I'm going to name this homestead exemption ad. I'm going to let YouTube create the banner, so auto-generate using your channel banner versus uploading an image. Every time I upload an image, it's wrong. So I just let YouTube take care of it, and then I create the ad.
Well, this is how you run YouTube ads for real estate leads. If you found value in this video, please be sure to subscribe so we can talk again soon.